Hello, everyone. This is Dawn Weatherwax, the proud owner of Sports Nutrition To Go, Dawn Weatherwax's Sports Nutrition Academy and Food for Speed podcast. Today, we're going to talk about how proper nutrition can transform your athlete's performance and help them achieve their dreams. Are you one of those people that question if nutrition really matters to our health or our overall athletic performance? Does it help you get faster, quicker, stronger, jump higher, healthier, enhance processing speed, recovery, repair, stay healthy and injury free, mental and tummy issues, consistent energy levels, sleep, quality, stress, anxiety, academics, growth, gaining muscle, just longevity in life and sport? Well, I'm here to tell you it 100% makes a difference on maximizing your health and performance. Are you one of those that are eating a lot but not seeing the expected results? Well, it's not just about eating enough. It's about eating the right things at the right times for your body at this moment in time for the goals that you're trying to go for. So let's dive in on how we can optimize your fuel to thrive and achieve your goals and dreams now. What are some common issues? Many athletes struggle to gain lean weight consistently. Others ask, how can I make myself taller or stronger? Well, genetics aren't the only thing that play in these factors. It definitely nutrition does. In fact, you can't make yourself taller, but you can make yourself shorter by not properly fueling enough through these times of growth. Same goes for gaining lean weight. Can't build muscle optimally if the fuel levels are off. The fuel in the muscles fuel the growth and they fuel the activity. If it runs low, you will be slower. If it runs low, you will not grow optimally. If it runs low, you cannot build the muscle ideally at the times that your body wants to. Here's a pound of muscle. Inside is where we store the fuel. That's the carbs. This is what fuels our activity and our growth. It is essential that we're in optimal ranges to be able to do what our body wants and develop when we're supposed to. And then on top of it, develop our performance skills. Goal is to grow when you're supposed to grow and gain lean when you're supposed to gain lean. This is essential for optimal health, but it is definitely a competitive advantage. Others are not hungry or they're picky eaters. Most can be addressed through proper nutrition techniques. Another common issue is struggling with consistent energy levels throughout the whole season or off season. Fueling correctly can keep your athlete energized throughout their practices and competitions. Remember, if the fuel in the muscle is low before you start, you will get tired and go slower. It also slows down recovery and repair. Legs will feel heavy and tired. You feel like you could do more, but you just can't make your body do it. And having consistent energy levels means you can give 100% to the process. And this allows them to progress optimally and they can do it over and over again. That allows them to get faster, stronger, and smarter. Struggle with staying healthy or injury free. Proper nutrition helps in these areas. The best athletes in the world get less sick or less injured. One stat states if you can complete 87% of your training goals, you're 7 times more likely to reach your goals that you set forth. However, 80% get sick or injured that take them out of that 87%. Consistency allows you to progress and surpass your competition. Many believe all they have to do is take supplements, especially protein supplements. It's not about protein and supplements. The balance in fuel is essential. If you don't optimize the macros, those are your carbs, healthy fats, and lean proteins in the right amounts for you at the right times. Supplements are a mute point, especially for those for energy and building lean weight. The common denominator, if you made it this far, is you want to be the best athlete you can be. So let's dive in and find out how to fuel your goals and dreams now. Hydration is key. Make sure you're drinking enough fluids and getting the right amount of sodium at various times of the day. This keeps you performing your best. The athlete highlighted here was tired, cramping on the field, lightheaded. Now she's faster, cramp free, and energized to the end. Hydration is key. Make sure you're drinking enough fluids and getting the right amount of sodium at various times of the day. This keeps you performing your best. The athlete highlighted here was tired, cramping on the field, lightheaded. Now she's faster, cramp free, and energized to the end. Why is hydration so important? Well, if you're 1% dehydrated, performance and processing speed can decline up to 15%. What percent of athletes show up to a morning practice, to school, or a morning competition 1% dehydrated? 76%. How many show up 1% dehydrated the rest of the time? 66%. Crazy. What a competitive advantage if you get this conquered on a daily basis. Remember, each day leads into another day, and you can't make up lost time. Should we hydrate to optimally repair, recover, absorb nutrients optimally, be faster, stronger, jump higher, process information quicker, have consistent energy levels, decrease inflammation, increase circulation, strengthen our immunity, and decrease injuries? Wow, so many things. How much do you need? Well, a quick method is at least half of your weight in fluid ounces a day plus 10 or 20 ounces per hour per activity. That's a loadful. I'll say it again. A quick method is half of your weight in fluid ounces a day plus 10 or 20 ounces of fluid per hour of activity. It does vary amongst individuals. Plus, we do need 3 to 4 grams of sodium in a day as well. Sodium is essential to bring the fluid from the bloodstream into the muscle cell. Without it, you will not reach optimal hydration. One way to know if you're dehydrated is if your urine color is dark, like apple juice color. If it's lighter, like lemonade, you are closer to hydrated levels. Now, we are going to go over the overtime method. Starting with morning time from 6 to 9 a.m., we want about 16 to 30 ounces of fluid and roughly 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium from food or products. Chronometer app is free and you can track your athlete's sodium intake if you want. Again, you can get sodium through food and salt, but if you don't meet those through food, you could consider products such as Gator Lights, Goo Tabs, Hydrant, Element, Liquid IV, Noon Sport, or Gain Hydro Boost, and the right stuff. There are more, but those are the ones we're highlighting today. Then between 9 and 12 p.m., 10 to 24 ounces of fluid with 0 to 500 milligrams of sodium. Ideal hydration doesn't just have to be from water. Milk counts as well. Unsweetened goat milk, nut, oat, non-GMO soy milk, and others are options. Then from 12 to 3, roughly 10 to another 24 ounces of fluid and 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Smoothies are another source of fluid. Some of my favorites are Bolthouse, Naked, and Chobani Completes. Next, we got 3 to 6 p.m. We do the same. Usually, this is a time around activity, so sports drink can be considered for hydration levels. They contain fluid, sodium, and carbohydrates that absorb within 30 to 45 minutes after consumption within the muscle. Options, but not limited to, are Gatorade, Hoist IV, Infinite Nutrition, Powerade, Scratch, Tailwind, and UCAN. Then we have 6 to 9 p.m. We repeat the same amount and same sodium content. Don't like the taste of water? Then infused waters give it a good flavor. You can use fruits, veggies, herbs such as mint leaves that are really refreshing. Other options are Bigelow cold infused teas and unsweetened teas. Then from 9 to 12, if appropriate, protein shakes and ready to drink protein shakes count towards fluid. Always double check the quality of that protein or protein shake by looking for third party tested, such as NSF Sport, Informed Choice, and USP. Here is your daily hydration checklist in one place. Happy hydrating. Now it's time to cover nutrition. For a little bit of inspiration, no matter what sport you play, I hope these athletes will show you anything is possible. Ben was tired, sluggish, not recovering very well, to quicker, faster, and solid energy throughout. And now he's rocking it in college. I have come up with a nutrition checklist to get your athlete started in the right direction. First is they must eat enough. Over 75% of athletes don't eat enough or eat the right things. No athlete will ever maximize their potential with underfueled and nourished muscles. The average female soccer athlete needs at least 2,000 to 2,500 units of fuel on an average day and 2,500 to 3,000 units of fuel on competition days. Males average 2,500 to 3,000 on regular days and 3,000 to 4,000 on competition days. Remember, these are averages. Some need way more. The goal is to optimize all their hard work, all their growth, academics, and performance potential. Next, frequency. They must be eating at least 5 to 6 times a day to quickly recover and repair because of the amount of fuel they need to grow and perform. Piling food at the end of the day will not work well. In fact, if they eat way too much, it usually impacts their sleep. To highlight another athlete here, one of my soccer athletes put nutrition and testing to his regimen and ended up putting over 40 pounds of lean weight and got 10% leaner. That's how it can work for you. Timing is important. We want to fuel at the right times and the right amounts for us to run fast, stay energized, maximize gaining muscle, and being lean. Here is another soccer athlete who went from being slower and fatigued to getting leaner, faster, consistent energy levels, and starting in her desired position. Then we have protein. We want at least 1 gram of protein per pound of lean weight spread throughout the day. Lean weight is everything but fat. If you're on the lower end of the weight percentile, then go with 1 gram a pound per total weight. But if you're on the higher end of the percentile of weight, then I highly recommend getting your body composition done. We'll talk about that later. But go with 1 gram of protein per pound of lean weight, and we want to spread that out. For example, if you weighed 125 pounds and you're on the lean side, we want 125 grams of protein a day. We're going to say we ate 5 times a day. 125 divided by 5 is 25 grams. Now, 21 to 28 grams of protein is roughly 3 to 4 ounces, and that's about the size of a deck of cards. 3 eggs is about 18 grams of protein. 20 ounces of milk is about 20 grams of protein. So those are other options you can use. Nuts and seeds are not great protein sources. They're great healthy fat sources. In fact, if you're vegan, highly recommend a consult with a sports dietitian. If you're somebody who doesn't really understand the amount of protein and what they need, then please schedule a consult with a sports dietitian that you feel comfortable with. Eating more than that throughout the day will not gain you more muscle. You need to rest. You need to fuel then the muscle, then to maximize building it and recovering, repairing. Okay. Here's the deal. Protein, think of it on the outside. If the fueling goes low, we get enough protein. We can only absorb so much at one time. Once we get that in place, we need to focus on fueling the muscle. And that's where a lot of athletes go wrong. So make sure you're eating a proper amount of protein at the right times to maximize your recovery, repair, and building tissue. Next, you want to have balance. You want to have a balance with your macros, with every meal and snack if possible. These are complex carbohydrates, lean proteins, and healthy fats. And then if we can, we want to throw some whole fruits and non-starchy veggies with that too. Have all the nutrients your body needs to thrive and surpass your opposition. Now, I want to feature this next athlete. He was underfueling, undernourished. His height had somewhat plateaued, and we upped his fuel, got the right nutrients at the right times, made adjustments as we went, but he ended up growing 3 inches in 3 months, got tons of energy, and now is thriving in life and sport and continues to keep going towards his dreams. Fiber impacts us mentally, staying healthy, and finishing strong. And we want a minimum of 20 grams of fiber a day. As we get a little bit older, females at least 30 grams of fiber a day, and males 40 grams of fiber a day. To highlight this athlete, he was just low in energy and not fueling enough and not getting the right things at the right times. And he really wanted to started working hard. His energy's improved. He got quicker, faster. He went from second string to first string in one match of the season and stayed there all season long. Added sugar. We want to keep added sugars down. They are not from whole fruits or dairy. They come from items such as cane sugar, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, honey, maple syrup are some options of added sugar. We want to aim for 30 grams of added sugar or less a day, not including activity. What do I mean by this? Sports drinks. We can have them around the activity. They're formulated to get into the muscle, and we have a specific purpose. We're not going to count that added sugar at that moment in time. We're not going to count a chocolate milk post recovery because that is something that's ideal for you to refuel the muscle within that 30 to 45 minutes is that protein and those carbs to get back in the muscle. We do not count that added sugar at that time. Why do we want to keep it within those limits? Because it decreases inflammation and fuels the muscles to go strong and go fast. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature. For examples, they are a lot of baked goods like Little Debbie's and Hostess cupcakes. They are fatty meats and dairies that might have more fat in them. and you want to keep it below 10% or less of your total fuel intake a day. What does that look like? If you are consuming 3,000 to 3,500 units of fuel, then you want to keep it around 30 to 35 grams of saturated fat or less a day. Why? Because if we consume too much of it, it increases inflammation. It's not great for our brain. It's not great for gut health, and it impacts our body composition. We want to run fast, we want to be strong, and we want to stay healthy. All right, an athlete here was a non-believer to a believer. He had low energy, slower recovery time to quicker, faster, stronger, and a noticeable force on the field. That's how nutrition can work for you. Let's recap our essential nutrition checklist. We have to eat enough to optimize all our hard work. We have frequency, at least 5 to 6 times a day, to repair quickly and recover. We have timing, fuel at the right times to run fast and stay energized. We have the protein spread evenly throughout the day to maximize building muscle and staying healthy. Then we have balance. Get all the nutrients to thrive and surpass your opposition. Fiber, maximize mental capacity, staying healthy and finishing strong. Added sugar, keep within limits to decrease inflammation and fuel those muscles to build and be fast. Saturated fat, keep below 10% to be lean, stay healthy, and get faster. Okay, I've given an example of all the things I was talking about. If you don't like something you see here, it's not about not liking. It's about knowing which food group and how to exchange out. For example, if you don't like an English muffin, you could have 2 slices of Dave's Killer Bread. Pre-planning is the key to success. If you pre-plan, you're 80% likely you're going to do what you wrote down. Maybe you have to start with one meal or one snack and just make a change and work on it. If you have a picky eater or there's some major issues, then you should seek out a sports dietitian and work on those things individually to make sure they're meeting their health and performance goals. Here's another menu that you can use for some ideas. Another good idea is having a food bag or a food cooler in the back of your car where you have items that can work with hot or cold. For example, you could have a jar of peanut butter and then have some mini tortillas in there. You could have mini bagels. You could have pretzels. You could have trail mix. You could have jerky. The cooler could have Chobani drinkable yogurts, cheese sticks, apples, fruit. You get the point. That way, you're always prepared. You'll save money. You'll save time, and the athlete's going to get the value for their health and their performance. Many want pre-practice meal snack ideas. Why? Because we want to know what to eat when to take out the guesswork and get the most out of our efforts. One suggestion is just having tortillas with rice and chicken. Your healthy fats, I love Primal Kitchen because it is organic, 100% avocado oil. That's your healthy fat. Put it all together, easy to make, easy to digest, and can work well. Another option to understand what to eat, when, and how to optimize your goals is just cereal. Regular Cheerios is one of the healthiest cereals, non-GMO, high fiber, very little added sugar. You put that with your Fairlife milk, which has a lot of protein. You can do regular milk. 20 ounces of regular milk has 20 grams of protein. And you could put nuts or seeds in that, or you could put a mixture of chia, hemp, and flax. And then I have Slammers for the fruit option, but you can always use whole fruit. It's the cheapest and easiest method, but it gives you an option that you could just throw in a bag with sweaty shoes and it will still be okay. Here is another option. It's oatmeal. I have highlighted Kodiak Peak oatmeal because it has 20 grams of protein per packet. Yes, you can use Fairlife milk or protein powder or just regular milk, 20 ounces for 20 grams, as your protein source. You can also just use regular Cheerios as your oatmeal because Cheerios is oatmeal baked, and you can put that in the microwave with a little bit of fluid, and you have oatmeal from Cheerios as well. You can put healthy fats like pecans or walnuts, but also sunflower seeds, peanut butter, nut butter, seed butters, or chia or flax. And to get your your fruit, you could do dried berries, but you also could do any fresh fruit that you prefer. This works well because it travels well. It all can travel dry, and you can even have a pre-made RTD protein shake and mix it all together. Digest well, and it tends to just work with many athletes. Another option are soups. You can open a can of soup and then oyster crackers, saltine crackers. You can even use regular Cheerios. You also can put a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil in there, and that gives you your healthy fat. And then you could go with a dried fruit, such as dried cherries or dried apricots. And again, you can always use whole fruit as you go. Canned fruit can work well. If it happens to have corn syrup on it, The trick is just rinse off the corn syrup off that fruit, and then voila, all most of the added sugar is gone, and you got the whole fruit in front of you. It makes a nice price point as well. This one travels well, and it also digests well. Well, we have our classic sandwich that could work. You have Dave's Killer bagels, bread with boar's head lunch meat, a slice of cheese. You could use the Primal Kitchen buffalo ranch mayonnaise or dressing that tastes pretty good because it's 100% avocado oil and organic. That can create as your healthy fat. Other healthy fat option are some olives on the side and then some fruit bites. You could also use whole fruit here as well. If you're traveling, yes, you could go to Jimmy John's or Subway. Try to avoid the bacon and lots of ranch or put those things on the side. And the trick here is yes, get the sandwich. Maybe you get the foot long so you get half of it later, but then you bring your own banana and you bring your own carrots to have with it. Chick-fil-A, another example. Go with the grilled chicken sandwich. You go from 50% fat to 19% fat, and it still tastes really good. And then you can again put maybe whole fruit with it, or you have a naked or bolt house smoothie with that, and maybe just some cucumbers. Those are easy to travel with. Remember, have things with you. Maybe you just need the main item. Maybe you get 2 or 3 grilled chicken sandwiches, have a cooler wrapped in aluminum foil, and then you can have that next sandwich for snack, especially if you're traveling on the road. We have our classic peanut butter, almond butter, seed butter sandwich on Dave's Killer white bread this time, but you can always use a bread of your choice. I chose a different kind of peanut butter, the No BS by RX, and pretty tasty with a little bit of protein from egg whites. Chia jelly, which has no added sugar, and then, or you could use honey. Honey is very sweet, so you just have to drizzle it on to get the sweetness without a lot of added sugar, and then you have a fruit. I chose apples, but you could do pears, bananas, grapes, berries, or, and remember, there's freeze dried fruit and dried fruit if that's more practical or easier for you to eat on the go. It is time for competition. Fueling with the right nutrients can be the cutting edge you are looking for. All the items to the right are actually from Dollar Tree. I have that free download off my website, www.s for sports, in for nutrition, the number 2 and the letter G.com. Or if you are part of my academy, it is in there. We talked about nutrition, and now for event day, you have to have the hydration. To recap, if you're 1% dehydrated, performance can decline up to 15%, and 66% of athletes show up 1% dehydrated. It is a big deal. All the things to the right are possible options, and we talked a lot about hydration already. So let's get that fluid going, get our sodium going, and go into the event hydrated. Now we have our event time checklist 2 hours prior. First, remember how we go into up to this 2 hours is crucial because we want to have 80 to 90% fuel in the muscle and we want to be close to hydrated as possible. If you're low in either, you will not be able to hydrate or eat enough in this 2 hours to get you to optimal. That's why that's the most important piece. Next, we follow this up with 16 to 32 ounces of fluids 2 hours prior. 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium 2 hours prior from sodium, from food, product, or salt. We want 300 to 800 units of fuel, and everyone is different here. That what works well. It could be one of the ideas that I talked about in pre-practice snack or meal ideas, or a smoothie could work well here. And then 30 to 45 minutes prior, 15 to 30 grams of carbs, which is an example is a large banana. Now it's game time. Event time's here. What do we do when we want to implement our event planning strategy? We want roughly 10 to 20 ounces of fluid an hour. This time I'm going to pick water, approximately 125 to 500 milligrams of sodium. I picked dill pickles. Then 15 to 30 grams of carbs an hour. I picked a large banana. Half of a large banana has 15 grams of carbs. We're going to say it lasted 2 hours, so a large banana, and then it's the end of the event. And then we want post event, which is roughly 10 to 20 grams of protein and 45 to 60 grams of carbs within 30 to 45 minutes, which 10 to 20 ounces of regular chocolate milk works perfect here. Another option could be 10 to 20 ounces of fluid, again from water. The sodium content, I went with Element, roughly 125 to 500 milligrams of Element per hour. I went with regular Cheerios for my 15 to 30 grams of carbs an hour, and then it ends. And then for post event, my 10 to 20 grams of protein and 45 to 60 grams of carbs comes from Oikos Greek yogurt and a bagel with peanut butter, nut butter, or seed butter. The next possible option is all liquid except for the post because some people really struggle with eating or tummy issues. Therefore, I went with a sports drink the whole time, 10 to 20 ounces of fluid an hour from Hoist, 125 to 500 milligrams of sodium from Hoist. It also provided the 15 to 30 grams of carbs an hour, and then it ended. And then the post event, I used Wheaties protein, which is tasty and gets what you need. We now have our advanced checklist. This is definitely for those that are more serious, because you want to boost your performance with expert nutrition and testing to maintain high energy levels, stay injury free, and achieve those goals. Metabolism is a great way to see how much you burn to take out the guesswork. We know exactly how much you burn, so we know what you need to grow and to fuel your performances. Body composition. Know your leanness to fuel your future greatness. It dictates how much protein you need. It helps guide the journey to the future. What's working? How's the nutrition work? How's the training working? How can we keep going to gain that lean weight for what your body needs for the sport that you picked and for the goals? And that way you optimize time and you maximize it. That's how you do it. Muscle sound. We want to know how much fuel is in that muscle to maximize your efforts. We want to make sure it's fueled to grow, it's fueled to do all your trainings and performances, and we make adjustments depending on what is seen. Fuel of what you eat, inflammation from food or injuries, all can impact how much fuel is in your muscle. Again, with muscle fuel, if it's low, you will go slow. If it's low, you don't grow optimally. If it's low, you cannot make up yesterday. Your goal is to gain lean when you're supposed to gain lean, grow when you're supposed to grow, and maximize each day for your health and performances. Nutrition. You want to know how much and what to eat to optimize the journey for every day, for every month, for every year, especially for those big goals to maximize health and performance. Supplements. The goal is to fill in the gaps with safe and cutting edge products if needed. We use labs so we know your numbers to individualize the process and to get the desired finish. Lastly, we customize. Everyone is different. Training hard doesn't always equal optimal outcome. The goal is to customize the nutrition piece to get the max out of the journey, your goals, and dreams. This young lady, I'm proud to announce, she started with me when she was 13, saying she wanted to go to the Olympics. And I'm proud to say for her that she is now an Olympian. Dreams can come true. To summarize the advanced checklist: metabolism, know how much you burn to take out the guesswork. Body composition, know your leanness to fuel your future greatness. Muscle sound, understand how fueled your muscles are to max your efforts. Muscle fuel, if low, you go slow. If low, you don't grow. If low, you can't make up yesterday. Nutrition, know how much and what you eat to optimize the journey. Supplements, fill in the gaps with safe and cutting edge products if needed. Labs, know your numbers to individualize the process and get to the desired finish. Customize, everyone is different. Training hard doesn't equal optimal outcome. Want to be a better athlete? Don't wish you did something sooner. Fuel your goals and dreams now, just like this young fella. He started out when he was in 8th grade and now is playing for a top college, and he keeps rocking it. Closing, if you want to be the best athlete you can be, then nutrition and testing has to be a part of it. Now it's time to go fuel your goals and dreams. If you want to understand more, please check out my SN2Go's Food for Speed podcast to continue your knowledge in nutrition and your success. There's also my Sports Nutrition to Go free Facebook community group to ask your questions to an expert to expedite your goals and dreams now. There's also my Dawn Weatherwax's Sports Nutrition Academy to continue your knowledge at your own pace to fuel your goals and dreams now. Check out my SN2Go's website, Sports Nutrition to Go, for more tips to take out the guesswork and fuel optimally. Thank you for joining me today. This is Dawn Weatherwax, CEO of Dawn Weatherwax's Sports Nutrition Academy, Sports Nutrition to Go, and Sports Nutrition to Go's Food for Speed podcast. Now it's time to go fuel those muscles and obtain your goals and dreams. Have a great and healthy day.